Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Today, we're going to talk about one of the very interesting feature for users to sign up to Capture Portal. In our previous labs, we have always been talking about the different ways of allowing users to connect or to log in to our Captive portals. For example, login using email, SMS, or social media logins. So in this lab, we're going to talk about how can we make users' life even easier by just scanning a QR code to log into the Captive portal. So because some of the users they really, you know, don't know how to sign into Facebook. Maybe some of them don't have, or they don't know what to key in from their login page. So in this lab, we're going to use the previous lab topology, which is the same as what we have always been using. So we have the HSG and MAPC here, and with the power injector, and we just download the same config from here. So if you look at my HSG config, it's exactly the same as the sample lab config. And if you look at the setup, physical setup, we have the HSG here, and this one connects to the internet, and this cable connect to that MAP, which is powered by a power injector at the back. So this cable connects to my PC. So we're going to move quickly to the actual demo because the configuration, by now you should be very familiar with the various configurations, the interface, and this hotspot config. And just to verify, make sure the hotspot services are running, security reduce services are running, so it's all good. So I have already logged into the mbox portal. So I just go straight to the CMS, and just now I was testing the lab. So the first time when you log in, you really don't have anything here. So you just go to the template and you click to download the latest template, which I have done it too. So I'll just go and use the V4 template, which is our latest development. So I choose the template and give a name to the template. The name has to match exactly what you have configured on the command line interface here, which is VLAN 10. So I just set as VLAN 10. So we have the portal, which is the default settings of the portal. And we have talked about all the portal customization here. So right now I just move on to, activate the portal features. So by default, we have direct access, email, premium Wi-Fi, and all the various ways. So I just, for the purpose of this demo, I will just take on that direct access and Facebook. So assuming you already, the venue owner already tried to make it as easy as possible for the users to access to the, rather to log into the Wi-Fi. So if in many large malls today, the one of the ways is user connect to that portal and log in using Facebook or direct login, or you can ask users to sign up using their email or Facebook, email or SMS, for example. So I just disable the premium Wi-Fi so we don't have too many buttons here. So this is assuming that users are pretty clever, or rather they know how to log into the portal. So the easier way is for them to have a QR code. The mall will actually put some stickers on the certain locations with a QR code saying that scan this QR code to connect to the Wi-Fi. So if the users don't scan the QR code, and they will still see the normal portal, the login page. So I would just make it even simpler for the purpose of this demo. I just have the direct access. So I have already configured the MAP, so which is right now online and is attached to a template, and its configuration is already being synced. So if you look at the template config, so we are basically broadcasting to SSID. For the purpose of this lab, I just connect to one SSID, which is mapped to VLAN 10, and SSID and VLAN that is being mapped to. So we are pretty much ready to test now. So I'll test the scenario as a normal login scenario where user will connect to the Wi-Fi and they will see the login page and proceed to log in as per normal from our previous lab. So I was already connected to it, so I'll just reconnect again one more time. Just to check the screen focus. Okay, I'm just connecting to the VLAN 10. So I'm saying the normal login portal, and obviously the customers or venue owners can always customize the look and feel using the web CMS. So I'm just, for example, go straight to the direct login so they get access. So if you check the status, it shows that I'm already connected since what time and you know the connection status. Or if you want to log in using Facebook or social media, and you just click on login through Facebook. Because I've already entered my Facebook credentials, so straight away I get access as well. And my credential was cached into the browser, so I didn't have to enter that again. So if you you want to see the whole process of having to enter the Facebook credentials, I just clear my browser cache. So let's assuming now we're trying to browse to somewhere, and you see the login page again. And now if you click on login to Facebook, and you'll be asked to enter your Facebook details. And I have to excuse myself for the password enter. So just click and you get access. Okay, so I'm now logged in. So that's basically the normal login process. Okay, so there's a small little tweak we just need to configure to enable QR code scanning login. So under the login direct access, we just enable URL connect, because essentially for most of the QR code is really, once you scan the QR code, the apps will actually initiate a browsing request to certain URL that you have configured. So if you look at this QR code generator, you can use any free QR code generator, as most of there's a lot of online rather free programs that allows you to generate QR code. So what this happens is you will put URL and you will automatically generate a QR code, and then you can export out the QR code, for example, save to a PNG or JPEG file. Then you can you know, customize and put together with your marketing poster or brochure and stick on certain locations on the wall, or you know, whichever that you want to present it to the users. So the QR code, once the user scan, and this is where you set the QR code set configuration. So that means after you the user, after they scan the QR code, you're expecting them to automatically connect to somewhere. So let's say I have put a URL and I'm going to connect them to, you know, I'm going to put them to whichever URL that you want them to connect to, maybe your company website, for example, um, or promotional website. I have to think of some URL. So maybe I would just use finance Yahoo again. So as you're typing the URL, the QR code automatically is being generated. So the URL here, you will just make sure is the same as what you enable the URL connect feature, and you make the URL exactly the same as the QR code. So what this means is once the user scan the QR code, and they will launch a browsing request to this URL, and then the portal or the gateway, once it detects this browsing request, then you will know that he's connecting through a QR code scanning process. Then we will automatically and authorize his connection. So I have enabled that. So I'm going to test it again with a QR code scanner. So let's say now I'm connected. I'm going to log out. So now I'm basically, let's assuming I'm trying to connect to somewhere. So I'm always asked to log in. And so that means I'm not connected. Type another URL just to make sure I'm really not logged in. Okay, so what I'll do now, I will do a QR code scan. So once I scan, you ask me to open a browser. So once I sent that browsing request, automatically you see a very small little flash. Then I'm authorized. That means my connection is permitted, and I've already logged into the hospital gateway. And if I try to browse to my earlier website, I'm getting connected now without having to log in again. So as you can see, the QR code scanning process is really very simple. So I'll log out again. So I'm now is not logged in. So scan the QR code, open the browser. Depends on your QR code apps. Some of them automatically launch that connection. Some of them you will ask you to manually click a little bit. So for example, this one, try again. So you ask me to open in browser. So some of them automatically open in browser. So it depends on the apps, but most of the time it's really very simple to use. So that's pretty much, the way it works. You can, in short, this feature is actually, you can be used in a lot of other ways. So QR code is one easy or rather common application, so that users scan the QR code, then they can get authenticated. You can also embed an URL browsing request in apps. So for example, you have proprietary apps, and you want to make sure if the user have the apps installed on the phone, once they launch the apps, then most of the apps will try to connect to an URL. For example, your company server or maybe your Facebook connection, whichever URL, then you just put it in here, make sure it's exactly the same URL entry. Then from a user perspective, once they launch the apps, then they will be automatically authorized for the connection without having to log in. So become extremely seamless for the user experience. And if you look at the radius logs, each QR code scan, there's still a login process. There's still a connection session for the user. It's just that only the user ID shows as demo user, but everything else about the user device is still available on the system. So you can still have all this data for your data analytics, or for your, for analyzing the user behavior. So for example, whatever reports we have about unique user, about total logins, because I don't have a lot of data, so it doesn't show the graphs here. So you can have all this unique user and repeat user. So all this data are statistics are still meaningful and valid. So the only difference is you don't have visibility on the user ID. So that's basically all about this particular feature. And that's all for today. And we'll see you again next week.